Year's resolutions. Almost everybody makes them. Almost nobody keeps them. Maybe you've resolved to go on a diet, get to the gym, or save money for a dream vacation. Whatever it is, something always gets in the way, and chances are, by the end of the first week of January, you've decided to give it a go again next year. But what if your resolution is something you knew at the outset would be impossible to achieve, unless your last name happens to be Musk or Windsor, without emotional and financial support? What if the odds of achieving it are long because the system is stacked against you? And what if it's something big, important, and life-changing that it's now or never to do? Would you still make the resolution and stick to it? That is exactly what I'm faced with, my friends, as I go into this first week of 2023. Hi guys, Jason Bodine coming at you once again from Gadsden, Alabama. Welcome back to the channel. This video is all about my New Year's resolution for 2023. I'm going to tell you what it is, give you the details and background story of why I chose it, talk about what some of the challenges are in getting it done, and at the end I'll have some questions for those of you watching this who may be in my position and have actually succeeded. So stay tuned. My New Year's resolution for 2023 is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a long time now, but it's also something that can get me some strange looks when I tell people what it is. It's no secret to my family and friends or to my Facebook and Twitter followers that I want kids of my own. It's something I've discussed openly for years now, and that's exactly what I've resolved to do this year. Begin my journey to fatherhood to make that dream a reality. A natural enough desire, but the way I want to do it to make that happen has raised more than a few eyebrows. Primarily due to my life circumstances and certain stigmas and prejudices that still exist in the world today, despite the fact that we're almost a quarter of the way into the 21st century. Add to that the fact that I'm 48, male, very happily single with no desire to change it, and barely have a pot to piss in, and I start getting looks just like the one I imagine some of you are staring at me with through your screens right now. Don't feel bad if you are. I included this segment to address some common questions I get about it. The first question that comes up, usually with my more conservative friends and family members, is why don't you just get married and have a baby the normal way? The short answer is because I don't want to. Aside from the fact that I've known since I turned 25 that I wanted to be a parent, I've just never been all that interested in romantic relationships. Until fairly recently, anyway, I've never been opposed to being in a romantic relationship. I've just never been interested enough in actively seeking one out. And if you want to know why I'm opposed to it now, all you really need to do is check out my Putting It All Together and Converging Storylines videos to know how the only relationship, if you can even call it that, since I didn't even know the other person felt that way until 13 years after the fact, that I've ever been in turned out, and why I'm not exactly eager to try again on purpose with somebody else. You're probably also asking why, if I've wanted to do this since I was 25, I waited so long. Shouldn't I have been working and saving money towards it for years and started my family a long time ago? Well, that's a question with a long, complicated, multi-part answer that could be the subject of a video all its own and involves a combination of social taboos about this particular subject and the tag team duo of life circumstances and the ravages of time, wiping out almost everything I had put to put towards it and preventing me from doing what I need to do to make more money to save up and start the process all over again. I'll do a separate video about all that if you guys ask me for it. But New Year's resolutions are all about looking to the future, not dwelling on the past. And this video is about my New Year's resolution to make it happen despite all the past and present problems and the difficulties and the uphill battle I know I'll be facing, to do it now with my present circumstances. More on that coming up next, but first, what changed to make me formally declare starting a family as my resolution for 2023? All those roadblocks still exist after all, right? They do. However, two things did change that make me want to push forward. One is that last year taught me a very valuable lesson: to always stand up for who you are, what you do, and what you want out of life, and never let anybody make you feel bad about any of those things. And the other, simple. I turned 48. Since my name is Jason Bodine and not Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod, that means it's now or never if I want to be around for the kids' adult years. So, basically, damn the social taboos and the idiots who hold them. And that's what I want out of life, and it's the goal worth striving for. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the uphill battle a single man who wants to start a family in this fashion faces. Now, you wouldn't know it to look at me in 2023, and even people who've known me my whole life sometimes forget it, but I am no stranger to uphill battles with life-changing but expensive solutions, or to the stigmas and prejudices that go along with them. For most of the first part of my adult life, I was morbidly obese, and people used to treat me differently from everybody else because of it. They would either stare, or else they would treat me like I was invisible, and in either case say some very hurtful things. Then in 2002, at the age of 29 and my heaviest weight of 386 pounds, I made the life-changing decision to have gastric bypass surgery and ultimately lost over 180 pounds. But even then I struggled for a while, as I not only recovered from the surgery, but spent months battling post-op depression as I adapted to the lifestyle change and dealt with the psychological scars of a self-image brought on by years of mistreatment by others. And as hard as that journey was, the road to intentional single fatherhood that I've resolved to go on this year is in many ways far more difficult and treacherous. When you're overweight, stigmas and the battles you face are personal. The system wants to help you overcome it, and you have the support of family and friends to get you through the hard parts. But when you're single and healthy and want to hire a surrogate to start a family, particularly if you happen to be a man, it's a whole different story. As I noted in my video on male reproductive rights, the stigmas and prejudices you face aren't just societal, but woven into the very fabric of the system itself. The same system that wants to help the overweight person and also wants to help infertile couples and even healthy single women on their journeys to parenthood does everything it can to impair the efforts of healthy single men who want to undergo the same journey. Insurance often won't cover a lot of what can cost between $100,000 and $200,000 in the United States, and even the grants available to help people on their journeys are limited in who qualifies for their help. Often, as I've recently discovered, even the agencies and clinics designed to help people become parents through alternate means don't take single men seriously. On January 3rd, 2023, I emailed one such place requesting some basic information on the costs involved and any financing options available for single men of my age. The email was sent to their appointments email address, which one would assume is checked often. And yet, as of January 8, 2023, my request for information remains unanswered and presumably ignored, with not even a "I'm sorry, sir, but we can't help you." Those same stigmas also infect the single man's support system. The same people who are so supportive and proud of you when you want to have surgery to lose weight and change your life will make it very clear that you're on your own in this, giving you disapproving looks and asking things like, "How are you going to pay for it?" and saying things like, "Get a job and save up," or "Get a bank loan." Even the people who've asked you more than once in the past when you're going to settle down and have kids will react that way. That isn't to say those aren't legitimate things to say, because they are. And indeed, many of the guys who go this route do have good paying jobs and the financial resources to get a manageably sized loan that they can pay off. But the attitude that "I'm not going to help you" attitude, what are you going to do about it, in which those things are said, is often very judgmental and hurtful, especially when they know it isn't feasible and say it anyway. In cases like mine, the repeated financial setbacks I've gone through over the years mean that any money I had saved up towards this or anything else is long gone, and I'd therefore either have to work for decades to make enough money to qualify for a smaller loan that I could reasonably expect to be able to pay off, or else borrow the entire amount, and in so doing, leave my kid inheriting a debt to pay off his or her own conception and birth, because I'd never be able to pay off in my lifetime. And it would therefore be far more helpful to suggest jobs and loans to support my family after the fact than before. Which leaves me in a position of knowing the destination I want to travel to in life, but with no idea whatsoever how to get there. Okay, I've told you my New Year's resolution, answered some common questions about it, and told you a little bit about what I'm facing if I want to do this. Next up, I have some questions for you. In particular, those of you who've been in similar circumstances to mine and managed to succeed in this regardless. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've answered some questions and now I have some for you. There's actually a whole laundry list of questions that needs to be asked, but since this video is already past the 12-minute mark, here's just a few off the top of my head. Okay, first of all, those of you who are men and who have managed to do this, even if you're in a situation like mine. First question, did you have as much trouble as I seem to be having right now just finding out basic information? Alright, now, 2. If you managed to do this and you're in a situation like mine, how did you pay for it? Other than work and bank loans and credit cards, I mean, did you get donations from friends and family? Or did you manage to find a grant that doesn't discriminate based on gender, age, marital status, or religious beliefs? Did you set up a fundraiser or use crowdfunding? And if either of those two, how do you go about setting up a fundraiser or a crowdfunding campaign? I have no idea. I've never done either. Alright? Or 3, I guess now. What agency did you go through? Are they in the United States? How much did it cost? And finally, in terms of costs and laws, what's the best place outside of the United States to do this? Okay, that's all I can think of for right now. I'm sure there's a whole lot more that I could ask. You can leave your answers or tell me anything else you think I might need to know about this down in the comments section, or if you prefer to do it privately where nobody can see, you can send me an email to the email address in the video description. Alright guys, that about does it for this video on what I will admit is an unusual and ambitious New Year's resolution. And I hope that you found it interesting and gained some insight not only into the psyche of yours truly, but into an issue that I feel that whether or not I actually achieve that goal is important in this age where everybody is clamoring about their rights being violated, because to my mind this is an important and overlooked aspect of the equal rights issue. So anyway guys, I will see you next time. So until then guys, until next time, peace.